everyone, how are you? I hope you all are fine. So in the previous video, we had already discussed about respiration and some important terms of respiration, and about aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Okay, and now let's discuss further. Okay. Since the amount of dissolved oxygen is fairly low compared to the amount of oxygen in the air, the rate of breathing in aquatic organisms is much faster than that seen in terrestrial organisms. It means the dissolved oxygen is fairly low compared to the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere, in the air. Okay. The rate of breathing in the aquatic animal is much faster than the terrestrial organism. Terrestrial organism, it means those organisms which live on land. Okay. Fishes take in water through their mouths and force it past the gills, where the dissolved oxygen is taken up by the blood. Fishes take in water through their mouth and force it past the gills, where the dissolved oxygen taken up by blood. Okay, it means fishes take water through their mouths. Okay, and force it past gills, where the dissolved oxygen is taken up by blood cells. Okay. Terrestrial organisms use the oxygen in the atmosphere for respiration, and the terrestrial organisms use the oxygen in the atmosphere form with the help of respiration. Okay. This oxygen is absorbed by different organs in different animals, and this oxygen is absorbed by different organs in different types of animal. Okay. All these organisms have a structure that increase the surface area which is in contact with the oxygen-rich atmosphere. These all organs have the structure that increase the surface area which is in contact with the oxygen-rich atmosphere. It means all these organs have a structure that increase the surface area, and which is in contact with the oxygen-rich atmosphere. Okay. Since the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide has taken place, across the surface, this surface is very fine and delicate. Okay. So, since the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide has to take place across this surface. Okay. This surface is very fine and delicate. Delicate means you can say is to damage or break. Okay. In order to protect this surface, it is usually placed within the body. There have to be passage that will take air to this area. Okay. So in the order to protect this surface, it is usually placed within the body. Okay. Uh, uh, it is usually placed within our body because uh, this surface is very fine and delicate. Okay. So there have to be passage that will take in air through this area. Okay. In addition, there is a mechanism for moving the air in and out of this area where the oxygen is absorbed. Okay. In addition, there is a mechanism for moving the air in and out at the body of this area where the oxygen is absorbed. Okay. In human beings, air is taken into the body through the nostril. In human beings, air is taken into the body through the nostril. Okay. The air passing through the nostril is filtered by fine hair that line the passage. And after that, the air passing through the nostril is filtered by fine hairs that line the passage. The passage is also lined with mucus, which help in this process. And air also passes passage in the passage is also lined with mucus, which help in this process. Okay, mucus is also mucus also help in this process. Okay, from here, the air passes through the throat and into the lungs. Okay, from here the air passes through the throat and into the lungs. Okay. Rings of cartilage are present in the throat. Okay. Rings of cartilage are present in the throat. This ensures that the air passage does not collapse. This ensures that the air passage does not collapse. Okay. Here you can see that this was the figure of human respiration. Okay. That the air comes to our nasal passage. After that, it comes to our lungs. Okay. And this one is ribs of cartilage. Within the lungs, the passage divided into smaller and smaller tubes, which finally terminate in a balloon-like structure, which are called alveoli. Okay. Within the lungs, the passage divided into smaller and smaller tubes, which are finally terminate in a balloons-like structure called alveoli. This one is This one is alveoli. Okay. Balloon-like structure within the lungs. Okay. This one is known as alveoli. Now, the alveoli provide a surface where the exchange of gases can take place. The alveoli provide a structure where the exchanges of gases can take place. Okay. Here in the okay. This is the walls of the alveoli contain an extensive network of blood vessels, and the walls of the alveoli contain an extensive network of blood vessels. Okay, and its surface it provides a surface where gases can exchange. Okay. As we have seen in earlier year, when we breathe in, we let out ribs and flatten our diaphragm, and the chest cavity become larger as a result. Okay. Any reason that in the earlier year we have seen that when we breathe in, we lift our ribs and flatten our diaphragm. Okay, and the chest cavity becomes larger as a result. Okay, because of this air is sucked into the lungs and fills expanded alveoli. Because of this, air is sucked into the lungs and fills the expanded alveoli. When we breathe, we lift our ribs. Okay, this one is lift our ribs. This one is ribs. Okay, it protects our lungs. Okay, this one is ribs. Okay, when we breathe, we lift our ribs and flatten our diaphragm. This one is known as diaphragm. Okay, flatten diaphragm, and also our chest cavity become larger. Okay, sorry. This is our chest cavity become larger. Okay, when we breathe air. Okay, because of this, air is sucked into the lungs and fills the expanded alveoli. The blood brings carbon dioxide from the rest of the body part from release into the alveoli and the oxygen is in the alveolar air is taken up by blood in the alveolar blood vessel to to be transported to all cell in the body. Okay. Uh, the the blood brings carbon dioxide from rest of the body parts. Okay, taken up by blood in the alveolar blood vessel to be transported. Sorry, uh, rest of the body part for release into the alveoli. Uh, Blood brings carbon dioxide from the rest of the body parts for release into the alveoli. Okay, and the oxygen in the alveolar air is taken up by blood in the alveolar blood vessel to be transported to all the cell in the body that are present in the body. Okay. Okay, that's why alveoli is also important. Okay, it brings carbon dioxide from the rest of the body part, and with the help of alveolar blood vessel, it helps to transport it to all the cells in the body. Okay, help to transport oxygen to all body parts. Okay. During the breathing cycle, when air is taken in and let out, the lungs always contain a residual volume of air so that there is sufficient time for oxygen to be absorbed and for the carbon dioxide to be released. Okay. During the breathing cycle, when air is taken in and let out, okay, the lungs always contain a residual volume of air so that there is sufficient time of oxygen to be absorbed and the carbon to be released. Okay. Not okay. When the body size of animal is large, the diffusion pressure alone cannot take care of the oxygen delivery to all the to all body to all parts of the body. Instead, respiratory pigment take up oxygen from the air in the lungs, carry it to tissue which are deficient in oxygen before releasing it. Okay. It means when the size of animal, when the body size of animal is large. Okay. Then the diffusion pressure lung cannot take care of oxygen delivery to all the body parts. Okay. Instead, respiratory pigment take up oxygen. Okay. Here is respiratory pigment take up oxygen from the air in the lungs and carry it to the tissue which are deficient in the oxygen before releasing it. Okay. So respiratory pigment helps here. Okay. When the size of the animal is large, in human beings, the respiratory pigment is hemoglobin, which has a very high affinity for oxygen. In the human beings, the respiratory pigment is hemoglobin, which has a very high affinity of oxygen. Means in hemoglobin, the large amount of oxygen is present. This pigment is present in the red blood corpuscles. This pigment is present red blood corpuscles, that is RBC. Okay. Carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen. Hence it is mostly transported in the dissolve for the form in our body. Okay. The pigment is present in the red blood cell RBC. Okay. This pigment, this means hemoglobin, is present in the RBCs. Okay. Carbon dioxide is more soluble in water as compared to oxygen. Okay. And hence it is mostly transported in the dissolve but in our blood. Okay. This is the story of respiration in our body, in animals. Okay. So I hope you understand respiration very well. So in the next video we will start transportation. Okay. So that's all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day.